Well, hello to you, and you, y'all. I'm still up. I thought that would be the best face to describe this situation that's going on here. Hello to you, and you. Welcome in to a very late night edition of Braylon's virtual tour live. You are not seeing things. That is the thumbnail of Medea from a Halloween movie, child. And Lord Jesus, what a Halloween movie we have in real life. My Lord Jesus, higher is waiting, low is available, but either way, we are live on tour. Let me show you where you are in case you did not know. Child, you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. Y'all listen, everything is alleged in my opinion for entertainment purposes only. Welcome in. Talk about going down. Talk about going to the well too much. We take down this overlay because we do have a lot to talk about, y'all. Whew. So I was just chilling here and not really up to too much. I said we'll talk about it in the morning, but everybody's talking about it. So I'm like, hell, listen, I know how to do a live stream real quick. So y'all, welcome in. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is, hang on. Wait a minute. Then there is me. Hey, everybody, welcome in. Glad to have y'all here. So this is what we're going to do, child. So here we go here, y'all. So this is everything that is going on here. So this is Brandon Wells, okay? So I'm going off of his Instagram, okay, to give y'all the lava overflow that's happening right now. Brandon Wells was raped, groomed, and silenced, and now he's exposing the cover-up. Hello, my name is Braxton Demaria Wells. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I'm speaking up for every survivor who was told to stay quiet. What happened in January 2022, I was raped by Mark E. Swinton, Vice President Tyler Perry Studios, after being lured across state lines from California to Georgia under false pretenses involving my work on BET's The Oval. Swinton, I'll read that there again. Swinton, Vice President at Tyler Perry Studios, after being lured across state lines from California to Georgia under false pretenses involving my work on BET's The Oval. I was a retired veteran with PTSD. They used my mental health trauma and status against me, but the rape was only the beginning. My civil attorney, Jeannie Harrison, pushed me into a secret NDA while the criminal case was still open. She never told me about my federal or military protection. She never filed a civil case, and she worked behind the scenes with Tyler Perry's defense. The entire system failed me by design. This is a federal crime, not a primary dispute, I guess, or not a private dispute. Criminal investigation still ongoing. Roswell Police Department Detective McGinnis, case number 24090000982, Georgia. Laws that protect me and avoid this NDA, federal laws, 18 USC 1591, grooming across state lines, sex trafficking. Title 38 US Code 1720G protects veterans with trauma from coercion. Oh, I did not know about that. 18 USC 3771 Crime Victims Rights Act. Sorry, y'all. Guarantees my right to fair treatment, dignity, and full disclosure. ADA plus Section 504 protects disabled veterans from manipulation or silence. Whistleblower Protection Act. Retaliating against a veteran survivor is is indisputable. I'm guessing that's what it's saying at the bottom there. California law. I was a resident of California at the time. SB 331, the Silence No More at NDA is void in sexual assault and harassment. California Civil Code 52.65 extends deadlines for victims of grooming and coercion. Unlimited civil jurisdiction. My case qualified for a CA lawsuit, not Georgia. Quid pro quo law, power and balance in work and rape criminal in California, while NDA is voided by law. Signed under coercion, mental distress, and concealed legal rights. Gene Harrison never disclosed my veteran or California protections. NDA signed October 31st, 2024, after the criminal case had already started. Conflict of interest. Gene collaborated with the defense, suppressed evidence. Investigator Michael Robbins never released findings. This is obstruction of justice. This is legal malpractice. This is a violation of the Constitution. This is obstruction of justice. This is legal malpractice, and this is a violation of the Constitution. Compare this to Derek Dixon's case. Also, California resident assaulted in Georgia 2020, was protected under California law, never forced into Georgia jurisdiction, wasn't silenced by NDA. My case is the same, but I was denied justice. Why? Because this protects predators and legal action. I'm demanding file a motion to void NDA civil lawsuits for sexual assault, grooming across state lines, fraud, emotional distress, legal malpractice, criminal prosecution in both California and Georgia. Names I am publicly holding accountable. So that is that. Okay. Ciao. Ooh, hello to you, and you. Hello, Linnell Stiller. Welcome in, my friend. Again, good to see you. Got a lot going on here, y'all. So here we go. This is the release, settlement, release, and non-disclosure agreement here. This settlement, release, and non-disclosure agreement is entered into the 31st day of October 2024 between Mark Swinton, Tyler Perry Studios at Fort Mac LLC, and all its related entities and owns collectively. Tyler Perry Studios and Braxton Wells. Swinton, Tyler Perry Studios, and Wells are referred to herein as the parties collectively. The date on which the last party executes this following agreement shall be the effective date. This agreement is expressly made subject to the following recitals. Whereas Wells has made certain allegations against Swinton and or Tyler Perry Studios alleged by Wells and Instagram posts on or about September 25th, 2024, and also started by Wells and investigation conducted by Tyler Perry Studios. Swinton and Tyler Perry Studios denied all such allegations, collectively the claim. Whereas the parties have reached an agreement concerning the deposition of any and all claims against Swinton and or Tyler Perry Studios related to or arising out of the claim in order to avoid the expense and inconvenience of litigation, and are desirous of reducing the terms and conditions of their agreement to writing. And whereas Wells agrees not to commence legal action against Swinton or Tyler Perry Studios, is hereby agreed that the parties here intended to be legally bound as follows. Denial of liability or no admission. Tyler Perry Studios and Swinton dispute and deny any and all liability to Wells and or any other allegations that Wells has leveled publicly or privately against Swinton, Tyler Perry Studios. Wells hereby agrees and understands that the payment of the consideration defined herein below is solely for the purpose of compromising disputed claim. That said payment is not to be construed as admission of liability upon the part Tyler Perry Studios, Swinton, or Tyler Perry Studios. Releases defined herein below by whom liability is expressly denied. Neither this agreement nor anything in this agreement shall be constructed to be or shall be admissible in any proceeding as evidence of liability or wrongdoing of any party. This agreement may be introduced, however, in any proceeding to enforce the agreement. Such introduction shall be pursuant to and or protecting its confidentiality. In consideration of the mutual execution of this agreement and Wells' covenant not to file suit against Swinton or Tyler Perry Studios, the undertaking is here in full compliance with the terms of this agreement, and the agreement is to be legally bound. Swinton, Tyler Perry Studios agreed to pay or cost to be paid or cost to be paid to Wells monetary compensation in the total gross amount of $500,000. The consideration on the following schedule: November 1st, 2024, $301,200, of which $201,200 represents attorney's fees and costs. Sorry, y'all. And $100,000 is allocated to Wells December 2nd, 2024. $39,760, January 3rd, 2025, $39,760, 2024 through April 2025. Payments are all allocated to Wells. Payment of the consideration is contingent upon Wells' full compliance of the terms contained herein and timely receipt of W-9 form upon Wells counsel. So I'm zooming out of that. Okay, this is a little bit clearer here. In the event that the consideration or any portion is not timely paid pursuant to paragraph 2, default prior to such default being deemed a material breach of this agreement, upon written notice from Wells as provided herein, there should be a 5 business days grace period to cure any default. The cure period, if the default is not cured by the cure period, Wells shall be entitled to declare such default as material breach of this agreement as provided herein. No failure by Wells to declare such default a material breach, or any failure by Wells to exercise any of its rights or remedy, shall constitute a waiver of any rights or any other right or remedy available to Wells. The parties intended for the consideration to be a full and final settlement of the alleged damages for the alleged personal physical injuries or physical sickness or emotional distress, physical sickness or physical injuries with the meaning of 26 U.S.C. 104A2. Swinton and Top Air Studios take no position regarding the taxable status of the consideration and intended to issue a Form 1099 to Wells' attorney's client trust account for other income. You know what this is reminding me of? Hey, Dondi, welcome in, my friend. I still hope all these people are lying about the talented Top Air. Well, child, listen. I am reporting it as you are hearing it. If you don't remember the Derek Dixon one, we went through the Derek Dixon one live right here at Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. So we are just reporting it as we are hearing it. It is mind-boggling to me. If I do recall, I do remember from Derek Dixon that he got physically sick as well, right? And that, Derek Dixon was supposed to be paid, but never got paid. You also remember with Derek Dixon, there was a show that was supposed to be sold, but never got sold, right? So there's some parallels here, okay? There's some parallels here. Wow. Right here. So this is the confidentiality, non-disparagement. The parties acknowledge, represent, and agree that the claims asserted by Wells involved alleged conduct, all of which is denied by Swinton Top Air Studios, unrelated to any employment relationship between Wells on the one hand and Swinton and or Top Air Studios on the other. The parties acknowledge, represent, and agree that Swinton was not acting in his capacity as an employer or agent of Top Air Studios in connection with any of the allegations made by Wells against Swinton and or Top Air Studios. The parties acknowledge, represent, and agree that all the events alleged or asserted by Wells against Swinton and or Top Air Studios solely occurred in Georgia, that no other state law applies or could apply to the claims and or disagreement. The parties acknowledge, represent, and agree this agreement and the arbitration confidentiality and non-disparagement provisions contained herein was not entered into the dispute before the dispute between the parties arose. Wells acknowledges, represents, and agrees that he is not aware of any law, rule, regulation that will hinder the provisions of this paragraph 8 unenforceable, and as a condition of Swinton Top Air Studios entering this agreement, agrees not to challenge the enforceability of any provision contained here within. Wells acknowledges, represents, and agrees that Top Air Studios releases would be irreparably harmed if Section 8 is violated. Confidentiality. Wells agrees that the terms and conditions of this agreement, the nature of the underlying dispute, any fact or alleged fact given the rise to underlying dispute or disagreement, confidential information shall remain strictly confidential, shall not be disclosed to any other person other than the Wells attorneys, tax advisors, or treating therapists or healthcare provider, who shall be advised of their confidentiality obligations and who shall agree to be bound by this confidentiality agreement. Any such disclosure to a tax advisor shall be limited to the minimal amount of information needed for such tax advisor to provide his, her, or its services. Any breach of this confidentiality provision by agent, advisor, representative, or therapist, healthcare provider of Wells shall be deemed a material breach by Wells personally, regardless of whether authorized by Wells. Without limiting the generality of the foregoing, Wells further agrees not to respond to or any way participate in or contribute to any public or private discussion or notice or other publicity or statement concerning or in any way relating to the fact, execution, or terms of this agreement, or to any fact, alleged fact, or claims related to underlying dispute or leading to the execution of this agreement. Wells agrees that any disclosures of this in violation of this paragraph shall constitute being treated as a material breach of this agreement unless previously expressed, waived through public discourse by top deals by means other than in a response to a subpoena, discovery request, litigation, or arbitration, or in response to a court order. So basically what that means is that Wells shall not bring this up unless it goes into one of those things there. So because this is now in litigation or arbitration, this came out. Basically is what that's saying. Recordings and posts on social media. Wells agrees to delete from destroy all recordings, voicemails, videos, and photographs that he has related to Swinton or any other Tyler Perry Studios releasee, as well as any other documents, including but not limited to direct messages on social media platforms, any forms of SMS messages, emails, or other forms of communication with or about Swinton, Tyler Perry Studios, or any third party. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Or any other evidence relating to the claims or allegations asserted against Swinton and or Tyler Perry Studios, allegedly the Wells recording for 10 days of the parties' execution of this agreement. Following the destruction of Wells recordings, Wells represents and warns that he no longer possesses or will attempt to recover any of Wells recordings or copies thereof. Wells further represents and warns that he has not and will not provide copies of the Wells recordings to any third party, providing an accounting of any third party he has forwarded for any Wells recording prior to executing this agreement. To the extent he has done so, Wells understands and acknowledges that any future disclosure of the Wells recordings to any unauthorized third party shall constitute a material breach of this agreement. Such breach will be imputed on Wells regardless whether he was the direct or indirect source of the unauthorized disclosure. So let's see here. The parties agree not to post any content on social media regarding this agreement or the other party without written consent or approval from the other party or its counsel. So right here, additional remedies. Be permitted to seek actual damages or shall be entitled to award liquidated damages at $50,000 per occurrence with a cap of $250,000 plus attorney fee. So basically, anytime that he would break this NDA, it will be $50,000 per occurrence that he did this. Here's some more. Oof. This just came out 19 hours ago, everybody. So here is emails from Mark E. Swinton. It's $3,000 payments, $980 there. So right here, I guess the gray is Mark Swinton and the blue is Braxton Wells. Wait a minute. If I'm coming into Atlanta, if I'm coming, hey Yolanda Karen, welcome in, my friend. Child, a lot going on. If I'm coming in, let's just say if I'm flying into New York, right? I'm going to be, correspondent Good Morning America. I'm not going over to the executive producer's house of Good Morning America. I will see them at the Robert A. Iger building, which is a glorified building to oneself, at 3 a.m. I'm not going over to the executive producer's house of Good Morning America. So, no. Usually when it comes to, being an employee of any company, but specifically media, you will usually get your agent, especially if you're an actor or actress, you'll get your agent. They'll, put your, listing out of your name, your age, where you're from, your reel if you have one, and then that production company will call your agent, they set it up, they set up all the agreements. And usually what will end up happening is you go to that hotel and then you go to the studio to check in and stuff. You usually don't talk to an executive, usually. No. Because they usually have it's not human resources, but that would be the casting department. That's what I'm trying to say. The casting department, they would handle your flights, your hotel, your food, your time of when you check in, when you check out, and that's where you'll get the call sheet and everything. So already that's a little much to me. Like I said, that's why it helps to understand the media game. Do you mix your 1942 with anything in particular? Talking about tequila. I will book your flight today, handsome. Hopefully you're having a cool day. No. No, and no. Now, I'm guessing this tested negative was for COVID. I'm assuming so. Yep, right here. Oh! So I'm guessing this is the person, I guess this is Mark Swin who picked him up, I guess. Oh! We don't see who's inside. Some more text messages here. So it looks like they were hanging out here. You have plans tonight. We can hang back at my crib tonight. You can keep your original flight back. So associate director. So that's AD. That's AD there. So Braxton, I'm not sure what time I'll be off tonight, but I'm down meeting you off. But if you have open plans with Taylor, then maybe we should do a rain check. I think it'll be hard to get back. Roz wants to meet her at 2. I think I want you to take the return flight in the morning. I am likely here very late tomorrow for studs. I would feel terrible if you stay and didn't get to see you. If we don't get to hang this time, we will definitely have to. We'll have to. The next time you're in town, let me know. Okay. And so then right here, this is not a civil dispute. Okay, I was about to say that was from this here. Wait a minute. Right here, this part right here. This is not a civil dispute. This is a felony crime cover-up. I was groomed and raped across state lines. that is federal sex trafficking under 18 USC 1591. My private medical records were used against me without authorization. That's a HIPAA violation. Jeannie Harrison never filed a lawsuit, never requested mediation, never brought my case before a judge or jury. The NDA I was forced to sign was during an active criminal investigation under mental and emotional duress. I was never told my rights as a veteran, never advised federal protections, never defended. This is legal malpractice. This is obstruction of justice. It's supporting a conspiracy to silence a rape survivor. Retaliation for speaking up is illegal. So that's the whistleblower act. So within this, there were some things that were cut off. So I believe that's what is in this post here. Let's see here. Crime Victims' Right Act guarantees my right to dignity, fairness, and to be heard. That's 18 USC 3771. HIPAA privacy rule. My medical records cannot be accessed, weaponized, or shared without written consent. Title 38 USC 1720G protects veterans with trauma and abuse from coercion. From abuse and coercion. Sorry, y'all. ADA Section 504 protect disabled veterans from discrimination or manipulation. Whistleblower Protection Act retaliation for speaking up is illegal. And then right here, SB 331, the Silence No More Act NDAs avoid sexual misconduct cases. California Civil Code 52.65 extends deadlines for survivors of agreement and coercion. Unlimited civil jurisdiction by case qualified for California court, not Georgia. Quid pro quo employment law assault tied to job opportunity, a crime. Just like Derek Dixon, if y'all remember when we talked about on Brainley's Virtual Tour Live, that part. If you remember Brainley's Virtual Tour Live when we talked about Derek Dixon's lawsuit, and you remember how I talked about the Oval and how, that lady, I think her name was Michelle Williams or something to that degree, she was a dominatrix in the Oval Office, in the Oval, and that led to Ruthless, right? And I was making all the connections to all the Tyler Perry shows. So if you missed that live, go back to that live after this one. Okay. But the reason why I bring up Derek Dixon again is because Derek Dixon was working a party and Tyler Perry called Derek Dixon out. Now, we don't know if Brandon Wells was also working at that party or if he was working at another event, but assault tied to job opportunity. Because remember, Derek Dixon wanted to do acting as well. Remember that show that did not get sold, right? Let's see here. Could it have been some of these people had consensual relationship with a sexually confused Perry, then when their careers didn't go where they hoped, decided to rape some copycat. That is potentially true. Okay, now we have had men lie about this and women lie about this. However, in the same token, right? I'll give you the best example, right? Let's just say that me and Jill Scott, who look gorgeous at Essence Fest, right? Let's just say that me and Jill Scott, right? Jill Scott Lee, Jill Lee, Miss Lee, if you'd asked, right? Let's just say we're married. And I have demon time energy. I want to eat in the middle of the night. Just because we're married doesn't mean that she consented. She may want to go get on my rocket ship and have me help her blast through her, have me blast through her galaxy. I still have to consent, right? So I think that that's a very critical piece, right? Just because you're together or you're in an environment and the circumstances are allowing it to be for something to happen doesn't mean that you consent to it. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. Go to Pam Esquire, go to the attorney, go to people who do this, okay? I'm just giving this to you from the social context and the media context and the cultural context here, okay? But that is a very good question, Don D, and listen, I'm giving it to you as I'm hearing it. So think about this. We just got done with the Diddy trial. And July 4th weekend, for those of you who celebrate July 4th, or Juneteenth Remix weekend, just it's still going on now. I mean, it's about 21 minutes away from ending, but still. And then here it is here. Braxton, thank you for reaching out. I read your message below. Either I or someone from our team will be reaching out to you today to discuss what happened to you, to discuss further what happened to you. Shocking kindness. Regards, Jonathan J. Deshad, Esquire. Let's see here. This is Jonathan Deshad, the people suing Tyler Perry for $260 million. These people won't even help the survivor. It's just to help Derek Dixon in his case to testify in court. I gave him all my evidence and didn't even try to help. I need help from the people to get this information out because this is ridiculous and this entertainment business is outrageous. Braxton, please call me to speak about your case so that we can clarify our position. Mr. Deshad, Mr. Kabosh, I'm formally requesting your immediate legal representation in pursuit of both civil and criminal action against Marquis Swinton for raping, grooming, and crossing state lines under false pretenses, Gene Harrison for legal malpractice, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and failure to uphold my veteran rights. Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry Studios for negligent retention, federal contract violations, and cover-up of a known predator, Michael Robbins for conflict of interest and suppressing results as the assigned third-party investigator. I was groomed, manipulated, and coerced across state lines as a retired U.S. Army veteran suffering from PTSD and service-connected disabilities. Gene Harrison, my civil attorney, never disclosed my veteran rights, UCMJ protections, or federal remedies, and pushed me into signing a private NDA settlement while the criminal investigation in Georgia was still active. The entire case was never seen by a judge, or mediator rather, was designed to benefit the defense and suppress justice. There's an open criminal investigation under Detective McGinnis, Roswell Police Department, case number 24090000982, phone number 770-640-4570, 770-640-4570, 770-640-4570. So then here are all of the legal protections as a retired U.S. Army veteran. I read those already. California laws here, read those as well. So right here, know if I involve all the following agencies: U.S. DOJ, Civil Rights Division, Criminal Division, FBI, Sexual Assault and Interstate Crime, U.S. Department of Defense Inspector General, Department of Veteran Affairs, MST Division, Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, OFCCP, California State Bar Lead Prosecutor, Najai Khatib, U.S. Department of Labor Veteran Affairs Liaison. Okay, so this is part one. Whew. Okay. Here we go.
All right. I'm not about to hide anything with you guys. I'm not. And I'm not about to sit here and be afraid and be silenced by people knowingly they did me wrong. I'm calling out Tyler Perry Studios. I'm calling out Mark Swinton. I'm calling out Jeannie Harrison. I'm calling out Michael Robbins. I'm calling out Tyler Perry. And I'm calling out Mark Temple. And I'm calling out Chris Giovanni. I want you guys to know what you guys did to me was very unlawful. And me being a retired vet, U.S. Army vet, going through post-traumatic stress disorder, going through mood, depressions, everything that I've claimed in my testimony. You all covered it up. You all covered up a felony crime of what Mark Swinton has done to me. I've asked for help from the California State Bar to complain to Jeannie Harrison because she didn't tell me my California rights as a U.S. Army veteran and a California LA resident. I'm sitting here looking on the news that this kid named Derek Dixon is getting unlimited jurisdiction quid pro as an LA resident, right? His incident happened in 2020 in Georgia in an employment place. He said he had a sexual harassment, and he was groped by Tyler Perry in Georgia as an employment place. But he's an LA resident. All right, y'all tracking what I'm saying? 2022, my incident. I get sexually assaulted and raped, drugged, blacked out. That's a felony crime. And it happened in Georgia as an LA resident. So if you guys don't know the laws in Georgia, this is what they put against me. They said I had a 2 years of a statute of limitation. I got 5 months late. 2 years of statute.
That's part one.
All right.
So that's part one. Here's part two.
2 years of statute of limitation, right? Now let's go back to Derek Dixon. 2020, same incident, but just a different, he has sexual harassment. That's way before statute of limitation, right? 2 years, right? That's what, 4, 5 years? And he gets a lawsuit with his attorney, Jonathan Delshad. Jonathan Delshad gets him a $260 million lawsuit. And it's all over TMZ, it's all over Fox, it's all over every news outlet that you can name of. Right? Every news outlet. But my civil attorney. Now let's go on the story. How all this stuff happened to me. Ever since I came out with my first video. Right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, Mr. TP, I'm not afraid of none of y'all, I'm not afraid of none of your lawyers. I'm not even part of this business, entertainment business anymore. You're gonna get exposed. Me being with Yahweh Elohim, Yahshua the Messiah, I am covered. And I'm about to expose every demon that is literally possessing you right now.
Damn. Not everyone.
I met a guy who's my manager named Chris Giovanni. Now, I had an agent out in Atlanta. Her name is Joy Purvis. Everybody knows Jake Purvis, of course. And I told her I was going to go to this guy named Chris Giovanni. And Joy told me, oh, no, you shouldn't go to him. He's a bad guy. And he's not going to be the right manager for you. So I'll say this. I meet Chris. I get signed. He wanted to have dinner. He wanted to meet up at Mama Shelter in Los Angeles. Mama Shelter is closed right now. It's closed down, but that's where me and him met up at, and we had a conversation. So I told him about my situation. I was just telling him what I went through, and I went through the whole Tyler Perry situation with Mark Swinton and what he did to me, paying me $6,000 to shut the hell up, to not ruin my career, his career, or anything like that. And I told him about the situation I went through, me being sexually assaulted and raped. And he told me, he was like, oh yeah, I had the same client that went through that. And all my clients who are working with Tyler, they're going through a lot of stress. And people are taking advantage of his clients. Even somebody, 2 years of statute of limitations.
So that's part two.
Oh yeah, I had the same client that went through that, and all my clients who are working with Tyler, they're going through a lot of stress, and people are taking advantage of his clients. Even somebody, a female lead right now. I think her name is Melissa, who's on Ruthless, is saying the same thing, that she's ready to leave Tyler Perry too. But that's
Whoa, 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 whoa. I did say Melissa was a dominatrix in the Oval. She wore that Ruthless. Okay. So listen. I remember that live when I was making all the connections to all the Tyler Perry shows and movies and everything else. It was one thing into another, into another, into another. It was like a rabbit hole. Let's keep going.
That's another side of the story. I'm not even talking about that right now. He was the one that kind of orchestrated everything and told me, I think you need to report this. I think you need to say something. Because I've been holding on for this for 2 years. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know who to go to. Being an actor, as y'all all know, it's a hard situation to go through. This is your life. This is what you want. This is your career. This is your dream, right? This is all that you want. But then, you got somebody that you trust, your manager, that's going to support you in this. And he's like, I'm going to help you, but I need you to, when I do tip off this guy, and he's talking about Mark Temple, who's Tyler Perry's attorney. But let's keep going. He tips Mark Temple's attorney and told him, hey, I have a client that's going through the situation. What you want me to do with this? So Mark Temple tips off Tyler. As I quote, Tyler was pissed. Right? Tyler was pissed. And that's all I hear from, Chris. And Chris was telling me, they're going to have a third-party attorney that's going to contact you, and they're going to do, it's going to be normal, and they're going to ask you, hey, we've been hired for Tyler Perry Studios to do a employment place investigation. But Tyler's gonna know about all the information. He's gonna know about what's happening, about all the accusations, right? Okay, so let's get to the nice things here. So Chris tells me, hey, just tell them that I try to send you an audition for Straw and this and that, and because I don't want to be having a conflict of interest, because I have clients, they're making about $100,000 each episode. I mean, well, they're making. Their client, his client is making $1 million, but he's making $100,000 on each client. And I'm pretty sure he has, he told me it was like 3 clients that he had on there. But anyway, that's like the moral of the story. But he told me to lie for him. That's red flag number 1. He's been working for Tyler for since he was 18. I think the guy's like 32 now. I'm not really good at math, but pretty sure that's what. Oh yeah, I had the same client that went through.
So 18 years old to 32 years old. Now, hey, Coach James Hodge, good to see you, my friend, once again. Now, I don't know about y'all. Now, there are child stars, but to work as an agent from 18 to 32, 18, you really don't know a damn thing about being nobody's agent. Keep going. Part 4.
He's been working for Tyler for since he was 18. I think the guy's like 32 now. I'm not really good at math, but pretty sure that's almost 13 years. I'm not really good at math, but that's a very long time. The guy knows the guy very well. So I'm going through the investigation, right, guys? Michael Robbins sends me a message. He has this other paralegal that's typing up all my stuff. Okay, she's listening to everything in my whole testimony. I tell her everything. What happens. I even got the testimony written out and everything. I literally have everything. So, I'm over here trying to figure out, okay, should I get an attorney? I don't know what to do. This just doesn't seem right, right? So I'm trying to figure out to get an attorney. I let Chris know I want to get an attorney. The dude gets pissed off, talking about, you don't need to get an attorney. you're just gonna cause problems and all this and blah blah blah. We can't have this happen. And I'm just like, well, I need to be protected because I don't know what these guys are gonna do. They're gonna manipulate me. These guys are very powerful. They're billionaires. They can do anything. I don't have shit. I ain't got money like them. I don't have shit. I don't got nothing like that. I'm just trying to take down the person who sexually assaulted and raped me. That's the person I'm trying to take down. But here, it gets even much better. While I'm looking for an attorney, I'm looking for entertainment lawyers to try to see who's connected in the business that can really help me out in this situation because I don't have anybody. I have a case, but everybody's not trying to take on my case because it's so political. People don't want to ruin their reputation. And I don't know why people don't. I just feel like it's just so stupid how this entertainment business runs. These people are sitting here like, oh, I'm not trying to mess up my political rep, if I take on the case like this, and then they're just ruining me. Who gives a shit, man? You got a person over here that's been sexually assaulted. That's a felony crime. Let me say that again. That is a felony crime. Okay? Vulnerable, PTSD, 100% disabled veteran that is going through it. And to be honest with you, I'm federally protected. But I'll get better. I'll continue that story better on to my story when I'm trying to tell you. I'm looking for an entertainment lawyer. There's this guy named Doug Johnson. Doug Johnson, I don't know. I guess he deals with stuff like this with sexual assault. But he's like, this ain't my type of thing. But I think I know a woman that can really do this for you. So he introduced me to this lady named Jeannie Harrison. Jeannie Harrison, I guess she repped for the Harvey Weinstein victims. And, I don't know what happened in the Harvey Weinstein. And I've seen that he went to jail. He's been indicted and stuff like that. He's been working for Tyler for since he was 8.
So the guy who has known Tyler Perry from 18 to 32 gives you somebody that worked with Harvey Weinstein. And I'm going to assume in part 5 that something in the Kool-Aid wasn't sweet about that lawyer. Let's keep going.
But he said, this ain't my type of thing. But I think I know a woman that can really do this for you. So he introduced me to this lady named Jeannie Harrison. Jeannie Harrison, I guess she repped for the Harvey Weinstein victims. And, I don't know what happened in the Harvey Weinstein, and I've seen that he went to jail. He's been indicted and stuff like that. But it sounds like it's good on paper, right? She's got everything that you need, right? So let's continue. She takes on my case. I tell her from the beginning of the story. I tell her, listen, I had a lot of attorneys tell me in Georgia, because I don't know my rights, because I live in Los Angeles. I'm a resident of Los Angeles, but I went over there and traveled in an employment place and came back, right? So, they're saying the statute of limitation is 2 years. And I told her this straight up. This was statute of limitation for 2 years. And I had several attorneys tell me that in Georgia. So I was like, well, they were telling me you're going to have to get a civil attorney in LA because you're a resident in LA. So I'm going here trying to figure out the situation. I'm telling her, she still takes on the case. But she says, hey, I'm about to go on vacation for a whole month and I'll let you know when things are going good. I waited a month. Okay? I waited a month.
30 days, 31 days, y'all.
No words. Nothing. I haven't heard from anyone. I haven't talked to anyone. I only talked to her paralegal. Paralegal's like, just keep sending us some of your doctor stuff and your medical documents. Now, as you know, guys, that's HIPAA Act. Giving out federal documents, what I'm going through in my medical procedures, and knowingly, I didn't know they were trying to keep a felony crime hidden. That is a felony crime, and that's federal. But I'll continue. I'm giving all my medical documents to an attorney that is representing me, right? And she doesn't mention any of this stuff to them. Now, I know she's going to tell me, oh, I've said these things and blah, blah, blah. But why haven't you tell me my rights in Los Angeles? Why haven't you tell me I had unlimited jurisdiction in Los Angeles? Why you didn't tell me I had quid pro in Los Angeles? Why was this case not seen by a judge, jury, or so? But he said, this ain't my type of thing. Derek Dixon's case, because I wanted criminal and I wanted civil, but she said it was impossible to do any of that because of the statute of limitations in Georgia. Oh, and I totally forgot. The third party attorney, Michael Robbins, who was doing the investigation, she's been doing business with him for over 15 years, and they were working together at the same practice before for 15 years. They worked on the same cases together as a team. Conflict of interest. A vulnerable victim that's been sexually assaulted and raped, mood disorder, PTSD, depression. Going through a lot. And you took advantage of my medical documents. No Silence Act order in California as a resident. As a VA disability retired soldier, I cannot be silenced doing me having a disability. That's a federal crime. I can't be silenced or coerced or pressured to signing in anything without seeing a judge, a jury. And I was never told those rights. That's legal malpractice. I make a police report while I'm in Colombia to the Roswell police in September 25th when I came out with my first video.
Via South Carolina, everybody.
Before I even signed the NDA. And the NDA was signed in October 31st. Because I even told her I didn't trust her. I didn't trust what they were doing. They were manipulating. I felt like I was being pressed. Even the third party interviewer, Michael Robbins, he didn't even give us a conclusion on the case. He didn't even tell us who was at the wrong or anything. He didn't even give us any information. Tyler Perry knew everything. He kept all that information silent. Everything silent. He didn't let anyone know. But my attorney saying, hey, I got text messages of the lady telling me this. Derek Dixon's case, because I wanted criminal.
So here it is here, everybody. Mark E. Swinton civil lawsuits. The first time I met Mark E. Swinton, I booked a 16 episode on Ruthless playing the role Belle with the help of Cindy Butler at I Submit Talent Agency in Atlanta, Georgia. I was on a Zoom call with him and Raheem Drummer letting me know how much they loved my self-tape. And I did my self-tape at North Hollywood at Creation Studios. They booked me a first-class ticket from Los Angeles to Atlanta, Georgia. I had a driver wait on me at the Atlanta airport to take me to the Air Condo Hotel on November 6th, 2019. So when it's time for me to come on set, November 7th, 2019, they took pictures of me in wardrobe and wig, and then I was about to work. Mark Swinton calls me in his office, letting me know that they were sending me back home, and letting me know I had a 17-year-old face, but I had a man's body. I took it in as professional manner, and when I did, Mark said he was impressed by how I handled it well, and said he promised me a role in the future. Okay, so it was not a particular party This was an audition, and they liked the audition, and then they flipped back. Now, there is a thing as the casting couch. I don't think that this is a casting couch situation, but let's roll on, okay? You're hearing it as I'm saying it, right? So this is all in real time. Then 2 years later, we stayed in contact, and they booked me for the role Oat member on the Oval on October 19th, 2021. Top Air Studios flew me out from LAX, that's Los Angeles Airport, to Atlanta November 1st, 2021, 12:20 p.m. Pacific time on Delta Airlines, and landed in Atlanta at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had to Uber myself to Air Continental, and Mark got my COVID test so he could hang out with me. I didn't think anything of it because this guy was very powerful at Top Air Studios. I was honored he would like to hang out with me. I was like someone that was coming up in the business. He continues to text me and ask me where I'm at. I was hanging with this girl, Taylor, who I was having sexual relations with. He will always ask me about her, ask me where I was and what I was doing. Does anybody remember? I'm gonna come on big screen for a second. Does anybody remember when we talked about Derek Dixon? How Tyler Perry texted Derek Dixon about his, escapades, asking about who he's with, where is he going, right? I think it was a message about meeting up with a friend for lunch and saying that should have been me and da. Is given that energy. Now, Dondi asked this question earlier. I don't think it is a coincidence that Mark Swinton asked Brandon Wells about his sexual escapades, and Tyler Perry asking Derek Dixon about his sexual escapades. Like I said, y'all saw the thumbnail. You know my voice. Damn it, you know why you're here. But there's something definitely not sweet in the Kool-Aid. It's like I said, most of the time, you usually never meet the executives. The only time you'll ever meet the executives is at the rap party, right? Because usually all the executives are there. When it comes to, casting and stuff, you'll meet the casting director. You'll meet the casting producer. But that's about it. Because everything else is done on set. So the fact that this executive was hanging out with this person and asking about their personal life, right? And promising a role when good to damn well. Sure, if it's your studio, you can do what you want to do, but that doesn't mean that's going to happen because all that has to be approved. Let's keep reading. And I kept telling him that I was with Taylor at Sauce Buckhead. Then he would say maybe he stopped by and grabbed me a drink, and he did. Bought me a drink and got himself a drink and my girlfriend Taylor. Then he and him walked outside. He was telling me about what Top Air does at Bahamas Island with his male actors and female actors. They all have sex with each other. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Excuse me. I'll go sleep for a minute. Excuse me. Does anybody remember? I'm sorry, I just woke up because I remember something. Does anybody remember the lawsuit with Derek Dixon? When Derek Dixon and the cast of the Oval went to his Bahamas Island. And Tyler Perry wanted time with Derek. Okay, let's keep going here. And kept repeating that to me when he flew me back out to Atlanta on January 6th of 2022. Then November 4th of 2021, 10:54 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, he asked me how did my performance go on set, rather, and I said Tyler said I did an incredible job, and then texted me on November 4th, 2021, 11:29 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, plans tonight. We can't get my crib tonight. You can go and you can keep your original flight back. I thought it was crazy that he would want me to hang at his crib. I'm just an actor. I thought I was building a great relationship with someone that could change my career. Just like Tyler Perry and Derek Dixon. When, Derek Dixon came over to Tyler Perry's house, they got some drinks, and Derek Dixon, oops, sorry, I'm just trying to skip him out. You're good. I hate that. I think, did I get it? Okay. But like I said, Derek Dixon got some drinks with Tyler Perry at his house, and Derek Dixon slept in the guest room at Tyler Perry's house. Got in the bed with him, right? And said, relax, let flow, right? So, like I said, I'm just bringing links together. That's all I'm doing, okay? I'm not saying there's a smoking gun here. There are a lot of similarities here, okay? All right, let's keep going. And then January 5th, 2022 at 10:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Mark texted me, wanted to see me again, asking for my name and day of birth, and booked me a flight back to Atlanta on January 6th, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Delta Airlines. Was asking what kind of liquor I like, and I said Don Julio 1942, and picking the steakhouse he think I would like. And then texting him, I landed at Atlanta at 7:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know he's at S3 terminal, so I'm guessing that's South 3 terminal. Let me know that he's parked at the cell phone line and trying to pick me up. At arrivals, I saw him in his Mercedes G-Wagon. So that was the G-Wagon that we saw earlier. He told me we were heading to Marcel's Steakhouse. While we were driving, Tyler Perry calls him and telling me to stay quiet, has him on speaker, basically saying things about other actors, calling them bad and mouthing other crew members. Ciao. Also, remember when Derek Dixon said that if he doesn't like an actor, he cuts him off out of the show. And we did see some text messages that Tyler bad-mouthing some people. Okay? Just bringing links together for y'all. That's all I'm doing. That's it. That's all I'm doing. None more, none less. Let's keep going. Then we got to Marcel's Steakhouse on Buckhead and told me I can get anything I want. He orders me Don Julio 1942. While I'm drinking my first drink, he orders me more drinks and more drinks. I ordered 3 drinks straight on the rocks. I was already drunk at this point, and then I started talking about my career, but he didn't seem interested in that. He kept telling me how handsome I am. And then we leave the restaurant and takes me back to his crib and shows me his $250,000 pay he has in his house in his word. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm in his house. He asked me, he had a Don Julio 1942 bottle for me at his bar near his movie theater. He made me a drink. He made my drink for me, and I was drinking with him. And I started feeling weird at this point already when I had a drink because we went to his movie theater, we were watching a movie. I don't remember half the things we were talking about. Child. I do believe that I think also Derek Dixon also had a moment as well of spending time with Tyler Perry as well, if I'm not mistaken. This is okay. I remember he took me upstairs to his room. And he had another room and watched another movie, gave me another drink, and felt extra unbalanced. I was not coherent and I couldn't fight anymore. I felt tranquilized. I know he put something in my drink. He started to kiss my neck and kiss me. I told him to stop it. He would say, "No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I got you. Don't worry." Come into my room. I couldn't move at all. I felt like my whole body was paralyzed. And he started taking my clothes off, started turning me around, and couldn't move. Trigger warning, everybody. Child. I couldn't move and started putting Vaseline on my portal area. Started driving his rocket in my portal area. I couldn't move. I couldn't get him off of me. I started hurting them blacked out. I don't remember what else he did to me after that. And I woke up the next morning. He told me he sent me $6,000 on Apple Pay to keep quiet about everything. I was lost. And I was lost for words. I was extremely mad and embarrassed. I told him I need to take a shower. I was noticing I was wiping myself in the shower. I had Vaseline on me and blood mixed together on the washcloth. I was breaking down, crying in the shower, and didn't realize, and I didn't know what to do. I came to the realization that I was raped by Marquise Wynn. I was afraid to speak up about the situation for 2 years because I thought I was going to be blackballed from Hollywood. I left his crib and got me a hotel in Buckhead. And going through this traumatic experience, it made my PTSD worse and my mental health was worse. Since I'm a retired veteran of the Navy, I've been idle. All this time, I couldn't live my life the way I wanted to. I was basically homeless, and it was how it was happening. I kept the contact with Mark and stayed on his good side because I was scared. Mark ruined my acting career. I just tried to make him happy by wanting to report him for so long. But I see a psychiatrist at the VA to talk to someone, but I told him I was not happy, couldn't live my life accordingly. The VA kept changing my doctor every 6 months, and I never had the same one because I didn't have the funds to afford this doctor. I was living off the VA. I thought I would lose my friend for speaking up about all this, but they've had my back all the way. But I can't live through this burn. It was eating me alive. I want justice for our mental health that Marquise Wins caused me. I want all the victims to speak up for all the things that he has done too. And that's Tyler Perry's right-hand man. And I want, that's Tyler Perry's right-hand man. I want justice for the emotional distress and mental illness that our faults has cost me my life. My life has not been the same ever since this incident happened. I wanted to die and just let myself be with God. First of all, child, we're live. Good to see you, my friend. I said I was going to cover this in the morning. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm up. I'm sure some of you are up. We're talking about it now. I truly believe that while the flare has not been lit, I do believe that there is a flare in this pal. Because it was quite interesting with, Mark E. Swinton, allegedly, asking, Brandon Wells about his sex life, just like Tyler Perry asked Derek Dixon about his sex life, and the drinking happening in both situations, and the roping of buttocks from Tyler Perry to Derek Dixon, and the rape that allegedly happened to Brandon Wells and Mark Swinton. So very similar stories here. We always say innocent until proven guilty, because you don't want to be a toss away K or I check that your ass can't cash. That's why you stick to the prompt, and the prompt will be about you. But child, I did not do this thumbnail for nothing. Okay. Here's the thumbnail, child. did that thumbnail for a very particular reason, because what the hell is going on here? Welcome in, everybody. Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. We are live on a special edition of Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. As you all may or may not know, there was another lawsuit yesterday. Brandon, now, Nikki News, you know my mouth, right? I could have done a lot worse. Can you at least give me credit that I was tame with this one, okay? You know what? Give me a moment. Because see, we gotta appreciate when people are trying to be cool, right? Oh my God. I have to do it now. I'm sorry, but I have to do it now. You know, out of the mouths of babies. I hate to do this. I truly do. But I'm going to have to do this. TD Jakes, what you guys say on this?
Come out the closet and stop keeping a secret and let the world know, if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, I would have been. Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you were at your wit's end? That is my point of view. Because my point of view in the Easter story is relational. But from God's perspective, it is quite transactional. The word redemption is in its nature transactional.
You know, we really should appreciate the tameness of thumbnails sometimes. Welcome in, everybody. We're live on tour. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Glad to have all you here. I'm your tour guide, Braylon Lee here. We are at this destination of Tyler Perry and Brandon Wells, because Brandon Wells did a lawsuit. And, I just happened to put up this thumbnail. This particular thumbnail, I'm going to take it down so you guys can see it in full. Right here. So we're about to have another trial going down. Talk about going to the well too much. And I'm guessing that's what happens when you drink from the well too much. You get choked or swallowed up, in the words of Bishop T.D. Jakes. Or you get flabbermagulped, in the words of Braylon Lee. So, a lot going on here. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. This is not taped. It is 23 minutes after the hour, 23 minutes after 12 o'clock in the damn morning. Yeah, that's where we are right now. Ciao. Right here. Named defendants: Mark E. Swinton, raping, grooming, and transporting a victim across state lines under false pretenses; Gene Harrison, legal malpractice, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and failure to uphold federal and veteran rights; Tyler Perry Studios, negligent retention, enabling a predator, and participating in the cover-up; Michael Robbins, conflict of interest and suppression of material findings as a third-party investigator. And then right here, Mr. Khattab, and all oversight parties. My name is Braxton DeMarco Wells. I am retired and 100% disabled U.S. Army veteran. I'm formally demanding expedited review and action regarding case 25-0 or 27784 filed with the State Bar of California. Case involves attorney Gene Harrison, who I believe is guilty of serious malpractice, conflict of interest, and conspiracy to obstruct justice in connection with top-tier students and their legal counsel. This is not just a civil issue; it is tied to a criminal rape case in Georgia with a pending investigation under Detective Giannis of the Roswell Police Department, case number 24009000982. Detective McGinnis can be reached at 770-640-4570. That's 770-640-4570. That's 770-640-4570. Gene Harrison's office in collusion with Michael Robbins, a third-party employment investigator retained by Todd Perry, knowingly suppressed critical evidence, encouraged silence, pushed an unfair settlement that was never seen by a judge, jury, or even mediation. The agreement was constructed under duress and void of unlimited jurisdiction, a right I was legally entitled to under California law. See CCP 1410.10. Of course, here, the opposing legal teams explored Georgia law despite my legal residency in California at the time of the assault, thus robbing me of the process under California Civil Code, legal malpractice laws, and veteran rights protections. This situation represents a dangerous, unlawful attempt to cover up a felony level sexual assault against a U.S. veteran, shield a multi-million-dollar student for public accountability, leverage non-disclosure agreement, intimidation to silence the victim, delay or deny legal justice, collusion, and legal manipulation. Violations include but are not limited to California Business and Professions Code 6068, M, duty to respond for client, ABA Model Rules 1.7, conflict of interest, undue influence, 18 U.S. United States Code 1510, 1512, obstruction of criminal investigations, Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ protections, Americans with Disabilities Act in Section 504. Veterans Justice Outreach Program protections under Title 38, United States Code 1720. Despite serious accuracy, no communication about this by filing on June 26th, 2025. This delay is unacceptable under mandated response guidelines for legal malpractice and veteran protection. I'm demanding four things. He's demanded, ladies and gentlemen, four things. Number one, he's demanding immediate assignment of the State Bar investigator to this case. Number two, a thorough investigation to the conduct of involved attorneys, still accountability for all parties who participate in suppressing evidence, bypassing legal process. That's number three. Number four, recognition of my status as a protected federal veteran with rights to expedite and fairly proceeding. Please know I have all documentation, including confidential statement, communication records, and proof of improper handling by Gene Harrison's office and Top Red's legal team. These will provide upon request for subpoena. And this was about 10 hours ago, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Gloria Allred. Right here. Allred, Marco, and Goldberg there. Oh, my Lord Jesus. Dear Braxton Wells, thank you for contacting our firm regarding your legal matter. Rather, unfortunately, due to our office present caseload trial commitments, we are not able to consider representing you in any claims you may violate in your take. You may wish to contact your county's bar association for referral to appropriate attorney. Please be informed that in every case there's a time period for which an individual must file a lawsuit or forever lose the right to do so. I have made no attempt to ascertain what time period as it pertains to the said circumstance you describe. In addition, the fact I cannot represent you should not necessarily be construed to mean that you have no case. If you wish to pursue this matter further, I would strongly urge you to seek a lawyer immediately to evaluate the facts and to advise you to advise you as to the time period available within to which to file a lawsuit. Neither this office or any referring lawyer are your lawyers, and no red attorney-client retainer has been entered into our firm. Our statements are a matter of opinion. Only we can make no guarantees. You are free to obtain solicits and other legal advice. We encourage you to do so. Wish you the best of luck in your pursuit of justice. Gloria Allred, Marco, and Goldberg. Wow. Okay, this person here, Rooted Goddess, Dr. Tiffany Bowen says she couldn't help me either, so apparently Rooted Goddess might be might have had a lawsuit as well. This is spiritual war. I won't be silent. I stand with Yasha, the Messiah, that this demonic Hollywood system. I'm exposing all that I have. The proof. And then you think Sav extra found help me out too. I don't think so. I'm a union member with them. I'm supposed to have protection. Even the lady in Georgia was the president. Zach Astro was protected. Tyler Perry, you guys think it's a game. It's not all actors. You are being used as puppets and slaves to the business, but don't worry. Y'all at home. Sorry if I butchered that, okay? Alpha Omega, the beginning of the intro, Jehovah Jireh, I provide the Prince of Peace, okay? I know Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I don't know that, okay? So I try to butcher that on purpose. Going to tear all this down completely using my vessel. So here is the freelance weekly contract here. Producer hereby engages before to render services in the role of 38 Ult member and a photo play produced primarily for exhibition over free television. The working title of which is now Top Harry's Open Season 4. Performer accepts such engagement upon the terms here in specified. Producer guarantees that it will furnish performer not less than blank week's employment. If blank's not filled in, the guarantee will be 1 week. The salary, the producer will pay the performer. The performer agrees to accept weekly and pro rate for each additional pay beyond the guarantee. The following salary rate is $3,644 per studio week, with a minimum guarantee of $4,500 per episode. Scheduled B performers must receive additional overtime payment for 4 hours straight time rate for each overnight. Location 6th day. So here it is here. For the good and valuable consideration of the receipt and sufficiency rather, of which are hereby acknowledged parties, hereby the time is covered up, but I think it's agreed to for the degree that follows. I'm guessing that's what it's saying, okay? Ground transportation non-exclusive to and from airports and sets. Airfare 1 business class round trip ticket from Los Angeles, Atlanta to Los Angeles. Hotel accommodations will be provided per SAG. Dressing room, one standard room, private dressing room provided. Per diem $60 a day, billing at producer's discretion. So a per diem is pretty much like, let's just say that you go on a corporate trip, you get this much per day to eat and drink. That's basically what that is. Then there's a DocuSign. Parties do hereby further agree as follows. Basically what I said, okay? It was blocking it, okay? But here it is here, 11/4/2021. So that was signed, sealed, and delivered on that day.
He's saying, hey, I got text messages of the lady telling me this. Stay away from the police. Keep your status quo. Delete the post. They can sue you for defamation. But They want you to take it down so they can still pay
All right,
you.
love you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, so let's go back. I got a 2-year statute of limitation, they said. I don't have a case, right? I don't have a case. So if you got a 2-year statute of limitation in civil in Georgia, you have no case. We ain't paying shit. We can fight you in court, right? But they said, no, we still want to pay him. We still want to negotiate. My attorney still didn't tell me my rights. I was still never told my rights. I was manipulated. I was coerced to sign something that I didn't want to sign. They had me in an increment payment. They settled. My attorney has settled with me with $500,000, and she took $201,000 from me and leaving me with $298,000. Versus $260 million that Derek Dixon is requesting. And he's doing criminal and civil. And you tell me I wasn't manipulated. I wasn't shut out, silenced. I was pressured to sign that contract. They tell me to delete the post because I was gaining traction. Because they were getting too much attention. They knew the situation I was going through. It was wrong. Tyler Perry signed a contract knowing that he said, I deny every allegation. Him and Mark Swinton. And he kept the person in that very office that did a felony crime and sexual assault and rape. Me having me saying, hey, I got tech. Me having
Part 8. That was part 7. This is part 8.
Me getting diagnosed, working on getting, I was getting diagnosed with Stockholm Syndrome. If you don't know what Stockholm Syndrome is, I would advise you to look that up. I had every medical documents proving that. But my civil attorney ignored it. I'm going to just say this. I don't need no help from no man, no woman, no politician, no lawyer, no law enforcement. I don't need no help. I just need a fair trial. I'll represent my damn self. Yahweh will represent me. I don't need no lawyers. I don't need anyone. Because all I asked was for some help. All I asked for help. But you know what? That's what the devil does. Keeps tearing you down, feel like you ain't got nobody. But the only person with me is Joshua the Messiah. And Yahweh Elohim, my Father in heaven. And I'm going to tell you right now, Tyler Perry, Marquis Swinton, Jeannie Harrison, Michael Robbins, Chris Giovanni, everybody that was part of this glorious manipulation. I'm going to get every single last one of you because I know you guys don't want to go to court with me. I dare you to go to court with me. I dare you. You can't even take nothing from me because everything is going to be voided in court. Everything is going to be void. The judge is going to ask you, why was this not being seen by any judge? That's a person that is going through PTSD and having all these medical problems and medical issues, and this was never presented by my attorney. This was legal malpractice. So I want you to give me all the paperwork you want to have me subpoena in court. I will be gladly to present all these evidence to the courtroom and to the judge and show how much of a manipulation that you guys done to a U.S. Army veteran that has served this country. Me having me getting diagnosed, working on getting, like, I was getting diagnosed with Stockholm syndrome. If you don't know what Stockholm syndrome is, medical issues, and this was never presented by my attorney. This was legal malpractice. So I want you to give me all the paperwork you want to have me subpoena in court. I will be gladly to present all these evidence to the courtroom and to the judge and show how much of a manipulation that you guys done to a U.S. Army veteran that has served this country, has done everything to do for this country, and you treat me like this. Don't worry. This is just the beginning. And I'm going to get every last one of y'all. Every last one of y'all. You, Mr. TP. You, Mr. Swinton. You, Miss Jeannie Harrison. You, Michael Robbins. And you, Chris Giovanni. Yahweh is watching all of y'all. And he already know what you guys did. You can't hide from him. But I promise you, I'm going to get a fair trial. I even talked to Derek Dixon's attorney. He wants me to come and I give him all my evidence. He wants me to come and, come testify in court. You want me to come testify in court? I gave you all my evidence and you couldn't even help me? Oh, I got a lot of workload with Derek. We got to take down Tyler. Well, all right, Mr. Jonathan Delshad. Let's take down Tyler. Local issues.
Well, this was posted 5 hours ago. To Tyler Perry and Mark Eastwood, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. Isaiah 8 and 20. My bad there. I speak today not just for myself, but for every soul silenced by power, fame, and fear. Mark Eastwood, you groomed and raped me while I was under your influence, flying me from Los Angeles to Georgia under false pretenses. You abused your position as Vice President of Tyler Perry Studios, a company that claims to stand for faith, to commit unspeakable evil behind closed doors. Tyler Perry, you built your empire on the image of a God-fearing man, yet when darkness crept into your own executive, you chose silence. You retained a predator in your house and helped cover up. Your brand over a broken human life. That's not faith, that's fraud. Yahweh alone sees all, he's not mocked. You hid behind Hollywood politics, lawyers, and NDAs, not disclosure agreements, everybody. You thought your money could bury truth, but no contract signed under duress, no manipulation by a corrupt attorney, no celebrity circle will stop y'all's judgment. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hidden that shall not be known. Luke 12:2. I cried for help, you turned your back, but Yahshua the Messiah was also betrayed, mocked, and crucified. Just like him, I rise not for fame, but for justice. I'm formally declaring from Yahweh and the public, I will no longer be silent. Your system tried to enslave me. Your lawyers tried to scare me, but the spirit of Yahweh has set me free. Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith Yahweh. Romans 12:19. I have the proof, I have the truth, I have the light. No man, not even Hollywood's elite, can stop what Yahweh has already attained. And he tagged Variety, Hollywood Report, Hollywood Unlocked. That's Jason Lee's platform, SAG AFTRA. And also Fran Drescher, the president of SAG AFTRA, Derek Dixon, CNN, and Fox News there. Right there. Mark currently serves as vice president of Top Air Studios, where he produces all the studio's major television shows, feature films, and stage plays. And then there is Mark Swinton. There is Tyler Perry there. Just so people know, I came out about the situation way before Derek Dixon. They told me to take down the video thread. Me, even my own lawyer thread me while I was going to law enforcement. I post everything on my page for people to read, not glance. So this was his page here. And there is a story. So let's see that story. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, guys. I'm exposing the whole cover up on me about the Type Air situation. Since no one wants to help, I'll do it myself. And then of course there is the NDA, which you can see there. Alleged text messages. Let me pause that. Let me go back. From TMZ, alleged text messages between Derek Dixon and Tyler Perry released following suit for $260 million. Right there. There's nowhere to hide. You keep thinking you're powerful, but Yahweh is Alpha and Omega. Yahweh is exposing all the lies. Okay, so Yahweh is God. Okay. But here's my thinking. Here's my thing for the Derek Dixon case. Rather, I gave this man all my evidence for $260 million. For his $260 million lawsuit, but he did try to help me, so I'm not about to sit here and take advantage again. This is the guy who was helping out Derek Dixon case. I gave this lawyer all my evidence, no support. You see what these guys do. It's all politics, help them testify, but not help me and represent me as a client. It's ridiculous. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'm trying to commit nobody cared. Only my creator, Yasha, the Messiah. I'm here to find justice. They want to take me out and ill me, then come find me, Tyler. I'm playing. I'm not scared of none of y'all anymore. Y'all ruined everything for me and jeopardized my civil attorney. This is why I don't trust the system. I only trust Yahweh. Y'all thought I was crazy. So, of course, we heard all the parts. More of the NDA. Go through each part of his story, y'all. California State Bar. So this was sent to the California State Bar. And of course, right here, let me go back.
It is disappointing to continuously find out that your show is coming back on the internet instead of finding out from the network. And I've mentioned that in previous seasons, and it's still happening. Or to
see the reason why he keeps playing the game with Todd, because he's still the business. He's scared of his reputation with Chap to understand that as soon as you leave the business, they won't care about that no more.
The trailer online and have to go search.
Good evening. Hope everybody's.
You have to understand that Tyler's not going to let your project have any rights or anything. That's why he asked the producer Chris or Christopher's show. You want proof? I'll show you.
He's doing amazing. Um, I've been speaking to my brother about making.
Honest to Goodness LLC. So I'm guessing this is for submission of the material of him being on. No, wait, this might be Christian Keys for the submission and release of content, I guess. Okay. Understand that you may submit the material to such other persons as you may so in your discretion deem desirable. You have not made any prior inducements, promises, or representations to me regarding the material. You shall not be under any obligation whatsoever if you do not decide to use the material. So this is to pitch a show, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I acknowledge that you will refuse to consider or evaluate the material in the absence of my acceptance of each and all terms hereof, and that you expressly rely on my agreements and representations contained herein. I hereby state that I have read and understand this agreement, that no oral representations of any kind have been made by me, and that there are no prior or contemporaneous oral arguments in effect between. Right here. You'll never get rights with anything, because I will steal from you, take advantage, and keep President's office, continue taking all the risks, rising actors and his boyfriends to Bahama Islands to mark his and Mark takes his victims to his Illy home. So this was a NDA for a pitch. So Honest to Goodness must be a company from Tyler Perry. Pay close attention to this person. These one of Tyler Perry's fake associates on fake accounts disturb the situation. They can do all they want, but you can't stop Yahweh. I'm telling you, weren't you hiring a lawyer? It seems like you were trying to extort them onto social media to get them to pay a lawyer. I do not do this the right way to the police. I do not understand why you guys get on social media for doing all of this. You can take real legal action and really take care of this. They think they can change someone's testimony, but they can't. Yahweh has all power. Let's see what what he replies about Yahweh. Isaiah 18:20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to his word, is because there is no light in them. Vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith Yahweh. Romans 12:19. Sometimes when people don't understand, I pray Yahweh plants a seed in Vic_Lopez 76. I was way before Derek Dixon, but it's okay. You just have to do your own research. Why didn't you say anything? And are you doing it now when someone else is also accusing Tyler? Why here and not in court with the evidence? So this was the original post here. My story when I was groomed, sexually assaulted, and raped by Vice President Tyler Perry Studios Marquis when I didn't know, but I was just a very excited actor who loved the craft, thought I finally had my breakthrough. But all that got crushed by prayer, my dreams crushed for 2 years. Life wasn't the same anymore. Dealing with medical issues, I'd constantly taking substance to numb the pain, forced to fire my agent, being manipulated, controlled. This is why I steered away from business, being blackballed in Hollywood. I don't care anymore. I'm just sick of a studio that claim that they care about people and care about God, give back actors opportunities, and they're doing this in my hometown. But all they're doing is just being predators. It's sickening. I was one of the biggest sports Tyler Perry. Going to see media shows and movies. All that was ruled by encountering the evilness. I know I'm not the only one out there. One way or another, I will get justice. And these are just half the evidence I have on him. Hashtag Atlanta. Hashtag Tyler Perry Studios. And then right here, Mark Swin. I'll be coming for you just to serve. Real at the Real Cancer Owens, please help me fight this. So let me go all the way back here. I will say this: Candace Owens is not going to help you out because she does not give a fuck about black people. But besides that, that is everything you need to know. Kind of knew when Christian Keys didn't name anyone, he was holding out for money or something. I mean, he did say that he got paid out, I think. No, I think that was Derek Dixon that said Christian Keys got paid out, right? So, with that being said, I'm going to turn off my camera now because we done the whole show for an hour. Yes, we have. Y'all, what another tour we have been on together here. Child, I don't know what to say. Don't know how to think about this, move with this, and be with this. It is Monday now, so the week is going to start off with Tyler Perry, so I'm sure this will be the talk of the week. And more information will come out. So as more information comes out, I will be giving it to you guys live in real time. Of course, I'm going to get me some sleep. Thank you guys for being up with me here. I thought like, man, shall I wait till the morning to do this? I'm like, no, I'll do it now. Do it now. Just do it now. So Linnell Stiller, thank you so much. Dondi, thank you so much for being here. Yolanda Cameron, thank you so much for being here. Colton James Hodge, thank you so much for being here. Nicky News and Narcissism, thank you so much for being here as well. So a lot going on in the world today. So y'all got two bonus shows today. Y'all got the Ashanti, Nelly Ashanti show today. And then you guys got this show as well. So like I said, we'll see what happens. This is far from over. Okay, this is far from over. I am giving it to you as real, raw, and true as it is being presented to us here. And just be cautious, be mindful, and be aware of how you report on this, okay? Because we just got to know the day trial, right? And so, listen, stick to the prompt. The prompt will not be about you. That is everything off of his Instagram. I posted his Instagram in the description box below if you want to go read everything pretty much that I read. Well, of course, I didn't read the whole NBA, but I read the key parts that you needed to know. But yeah, shout out to Storm Monroe. Shout out to many other content creators as well. I saw all y'all either going to laugh about it, make it make sense as well. Shout out to him. And shout out to many others of you. I saw you guys either do a live or upload. So shout out to y'all. And now we're a part of the conversation. So we are here. And I think we'll chill here until 1:50 p.m. Not 1:50 p.m. child. 1 hour, 50 minutes, child. Good Lord Jesus. But no, I'm going to get me a little bit of sleep. And I'll see you guys at 11 a.m. for all new topics. All new destinations. This destination has been covered already. So for those of you in the morning, if you're wondering, well, why are we covering it? It's already been covered here. If there are any new updates this morning, and in addition to this, I will update you on the 11 a.m. show. But regardless, we will keep you updated because, child, this is far from over. And the fact that Derek Dixon did not want to help out this brother here is like, what the hell? Because there were definitely correlations between Derek Dixon's story and Brandon Wells' story as well. So yeah, a lot going on here for sure. So we shall see. With that being said, it's time for this outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you weren't born special, because you are always one of us. And trust, you may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be, what you be chosen. Do wise work and call yourself. It's nothing be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I spend time with you spend time with me. And hopefully, I spend time together. Rise up to be great together. Always remember, radio, television, YouTube, or your best life, or just seeing a very intense unraveling of what has been silent for so long in Hollywood. Make sure the replay is not just for you watching, not just for the student, but for you want to experience it again. I love you. I value you. I embrace you all. Always remember, in order to see love, you gotta give it, or see love, you gotta give it, or see love, you gotta give it. Wherever obstacles you have overcome, wherever success you have achieved upon this particular day, I'm extremely proud of you, but no one else is proud of you. Be proud of your damn self. Finally, y'all. I don't know if Medea's destination wedding is going to be happening, but what I do know is this: when you say I do, that's a commitment to your marriage. And when you get in Hollywood and you say I do through the platforms you create, that's a commitment. And when you break that commitment, there is a thing as a divorce. Divorces can be very messy. We'll see how this divorce goes for sure. Have a good morning to you, Donnie, as well. One love, much love, all of. I feel the love. It's sending right back to you. Bye, everybody.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.